contract restructures. Jimmy Garoppolo, I think, is staying. Deshaun Watson rumors. We're going to get into all that and more right now. It's San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. Let's go.
Intercepted. It is picked up by Aaron Rodgers over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Cross Talk TV podcast. Peace.
Welcome to another episode of the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. I'm your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back Eric Crocker, and we're getting into it, man. Got some good stuff to talk about today. I was worried, like, man, it's the offseason. Every day is going to be long. I don't want to have to just make up some random stories. But the 49ers, they just keep giving you the content. So shout out to the San Francisco 49ers. Let's go. If you haven't already, y'all know what to do, man. Listen to Locked On 49ers with myself and Brian Peacock. We come at you 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We're actually live on YouTube as well. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On 49ers. Listen to the Locked On 49ers feed on whatever platform you listen to. Also, Locked On NFL Draft with myself and Ryan Tracy. Make sure y'all tune into that as well. The details of all that can be found below in the description. But the 49ers never cease to amaze us. And I was coming on to talk about some Deshaun Watson stuff and some, things like that. And we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about the restructures that just happened. And let me pull up my tweet deck real quick that keeps me up to date with everything that's going on pertaining to the San Francisco 49ers and the rest of the NFL. But Field Yates, the 49ers restructured the contracts of tight end George Kittle and defensive tackle Eric Armstead, creating $18.756 million in 2022 cap space per source. Now, again, this does not mean that the 49ers have $18 million in cap space available, but it just created that much cap space because the 49ers were in the negative. And I'm pretty sure, like most of us, we were thinking, well, the 49ers are in the negative and they're not in the positive yet. That must mean that the 49ers are, they have a trade in place for Jimmy Garoppolo before the new league year starts. And they were waiting. And I'm pretty sure, it was like, well, at any point they can create space if they want to, but why haven't they yet? They got to be under by the new league year, which was Wednesday, which is today, which I'm pretty sure is official in a few hours. So they had these contracts already reworked if need be, just in case they weren't able to free up space because of Jimmy Garoppolo's inability to move him. And it looks like nobody wants him. I think right now would be a good time to insert the video of Will Smith when he was standing there with Uncle Phil. And I'm talking about the old Will Smith, not the new Will Smith. New Will Smith stuff, Bel Air, is pretty good. But anyways, the Fresh Prince. And remember he was talking about his dad. He was like, well, my dad don't want me, man. And I feel like that's Jimmy Garoppolo right now. Like, and us like, why nobody wants Jimmy Garoppolo, man? It's a tough time for 49ers. I see my guy Curly Daddy. He says he's shocked. Why are you shocked? I'm not shocked. It started to become more and more apparent that it was going to be hard to move him. And also, my guy Javier Vega actually tweeted this out. Let me go over here so I can read his tweet to you about what Benjamin Albright said. And one thing I'll say about Benjamin Albright, man, like he's pretty plugged in. Oh, okay. My guy said it was sarcasm. My bad. You're right. Albright is pretty plugged in. A lot of times when Albright he starts to say things, Eric Crocker's listening. And Albright went on 95.7 the game and said this. Excuse me. The market on Garoppolo has cratered. I don't think the Colts are in on him at all. I think it's going to be Mariota. I think the shoulder surgery thing is just adding salt to the wound there, and it's just a bad situation. The Niners were hoping to get a pair of twos for Jimmy Garoppolo, and at this point, they'd be lucky to get a day 3 pick for him. He went on to say, I think it's a combination of things. I think they've overplayed their hand anytime you are going to see the Washington Commanders take on Carson Wentz's salary and give up 2 draft picks to do it and not go after Jimmy Garoppolo, who's been to a Super Bowl, I think that means you overplayed your hand because you feel Scott Turner, the offensive coordinator there, and the offense over there in Washington will be just fine with Jimmy at the helm. Carson Wentz is a giant question mark. I think what they've done is just overplayed their hand in the end. Everybody knew that what was coming. They knew he was going to be available at the end of the year. So they went out and made their plans this year. So they went out, oh, my bad. So they went out and made their plans, their contingency plans, excuse me, and wound up is kind of weird how I'm reading it. And it wound up, you get around the circle, and the only one without a chair left to sit in is Jimmy Garoppolo. So essentially what he's saying is 49ers fucked this up. They fucked this up. They wanted 2 twos. Now, I got made fun of a lot for my negotiation tactics when it came to the 49ers trading with the Indianapolis Colts. And some of y'all might remember this from last week, Locked On 49ers. We had a crossover episode with the Colts host, and he offered a third. He was like, we'll offer you a third for Jimmy Garoppolo. And I said, I take it. And they're like, Croc, you're not even going to negotiate? You're not going to, like, no, I'd love to get a third for Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, the 49ers clearly seems like they felt like they can get 2 twos for Jimmy G. And the rest of the NFL is like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're like, no, you're not getting 2 twos for him. Why would we give up 2 twos for Jimmy Garoppolo? He's consistently hurt. He's been with the 49ers 4.5 years now, 5 years, whatever it is. Out of the 4 years that he's like started this season, he's only finished 2. And one of the 2 that he finished like hanging on by a thread with the shoulder injury, with the thumb. Fighter. He's tough. I didn't really see a drop off in his play. Looked like the same Jimmy Garoppolo to me. So yeah, he was fine to play. But then he has to get surgery. So why would I give up 2 twos for that? 49ers want to win every trade that they get. Like, dude, you're not going to win every trade, bro. And again, I keep going back to a few years ago when teams were offering draft capital for Nick Mullins and CJ Beathard, and you're like, nah. I'm not going to trade Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard. They're too good. What? No, they're not. Don't see the value. What they're getting. Get whatever you can get for them. Get whatever you can get. And I think that's the same thing right now what's going on with Jimmy Garoppolo. Again, the 49ers, I have a lot of faith in the front office and the organization. It's hard to just, they don't know what they're doing when they've shown the ability to be very competent. The 49ers have had some level of success over the last 3 years. 2 NFC Championship appearances, a Super Bowl, like in the last 3 years, like that's good. So they're doing a lot of things right, even if they miss on certain things here and there, even if they miscalculate things here and there. Maybe that just speaks to how good of a coach Kyle Shanahan is. But ultimately, they didn't play their hand right here. You were supposed to take whatever you can get for Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'll tell you who the biggest loser is in all of this. Until something happens. And again, I mean, we could wake up tomorrow. Hell, and then today, maybe there's a chance that Jimmy Garoppolo is gone. I wouldn't expect it. Again, clearing up the cap space, in my opinion, means they ain't really got no suitors for Jimmy. That's why they waited to right now. That's why they waited to this morning to clear that up so they have some space and they can make some moves and signs and things can become official and all that. I don't think there is a plan for him. But I'll tell you who the biggest loser is. The biggest loser is Trey Lance. And it's been a good but not so good process for him because there hasn't been that clear picture of you are the guy. And that's tough. Now, whatever, fine, work through it. You're grown. You're an adult. You know what I'm saying? A young adult, 21 years old right now. You remember what I was doing at 21 years old? I don't even want to tell you what I was doing at 21. Young adult, but it's not as ideal of a situation as you would like. And for a young Trey Lance who is developing and all those things, and you got to go back to all the way to training camp. Like, that's when this shit started. And it's all because Jimmy Garoppolo's on the team, which is not a bad thing. It's not Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. It's not Jimmy G's fault, right? Like, Jimmy G did his thing, and but if y'all remember, a lot of people they forget about these things. I'm telling you, man, I see the bigger picture with this. I'm gonna paint a picture for y'all real quick. Throughout the draft process, I listened to a lot of Matt Malco and other guys as well, but he's the main one. And because listen, I like to listen to the people that matter. Now, again, I bring a different approach, so make sure y'all keep listening to me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. All right, but Matt Malco, when it comes to like really like receiving kind of the real and kind of figuring out what's going on behind the scenes, or at least what he's thinking and what he thinks the team is thinking, he was Mac Jones all the way. All the way. Mac Jones, and everybody's saying it's Mac Jones, and he's telling you why it's going to be Mac Jones. And Mac Jones, he fits what the 49ers want to do, and he's a better fit than a guy like Trey Lance right now. That let me post this up here. He's a better fit for a guy as opposed to a guy like Trey Lance or Justin Fields. Like, you might have to sit in Trey Lance, man, he might have to sit 2 years before he's ready. You go with Mac Jones, he hits the ground running. He's the guy. Like, Mac Jones. That was Matt Malco. And then 49ers drafted Trey Lance, and he kind of continued that, right? You might have to say a little bit, really green, like, has to develop. Well, he gets to sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo, doesn't have to, rush out there to get on the field, all this, that, and the other. Like, Mac Jones, like, right? Like, Trey Lance, he has to wait. And then he saw Trey Lance. And the tone completely changed for the first couple weeks. It went from not going to be ready for 2 years. I mean, he has an immense talent, but it went from that to, oh my goodness, this is the best young quarterback I've ever seen. Like, this is a guy, I mean, he's throwing the ball. It just looks different. The zip, he's mobile. Oh my, what are they going to do? Like, I think there's a chance he starts. I mean, his tone completely changed. Go back and listen to the 49ers talk with Matt Malco and Laura Britt from the draft season to training camp. And it was like, I mean, it was night and day. And it was like, when is he going to play? Like, how they got to get him on the field? Like, I mean, I'm just like, wow. Like, I saw a full 180 with him and his thought process on the quarterback, which led me to believe Trey Lance might be pretty fucking good, right? And he was doing it in practice, and he's lighting it up. And at that point, if you are a young, developing Trey Lance, things like that, you would hope for the opportunity to be able to compete. I want to be able to compete for the starting job. Give me, like, I'm going all in, like, I'm doing my thing. You see it, Kyle. And then they asked Kyle about it. Y'all remember what Kyle said? With a straight face. No, he won't get first team reps. No, he won't get any first team reps. He'll get first team reps when he's the person that gives the best chance to win. No, like, it was never even a competition. It was never even like any of that. And then what you see from there, Trey Lance is kind of going down just a little bit, right? And I bet it's tough. I mean, somebody who was 20 years old, he comes to this situation, I'm lighting it up, I'm number 3 overall pick. Then you walk into a locker room, it's this guy's locker room. It's Jimmy Garoppolo's locker room. Like, that's clear. That is clear. This is Jimmy G's locker room. And you walk into that, and it's like, I got to find my place within all this. I gotta find out. I gotta find, like, how can I fit in? And damn, there's nothing I can do to be the starter. I'm listening. I see my coach on TV. I'm listening to him. I'm listening to how he talks to me. So you deal with that all year. So then again, this is why I say Trey Lance is kind of the biggest loser in the situation right now, because I'm pretty sure it's like, all right, he's about to get moved. And the 49ers planned on moving Jimmy Garoppolo. They still plan on moving him. They kind of overplayed their hand a little bit. But now you got this situation where you're Trey Lance and you're ready for the offseason. I'm preparing as a starter. Like, I'm going to be the starter. Like, this is my team now. You know, I hear everybody I hear Debo Samuel. I hear Joe Montana. I hear all these other people like, oh, this and that. Nah, fuck y'all. I'm about to get it. You know what I'm saying? This is my team. And then the trade, talks start coming, and I'm pretty sure he's preparing. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. And you still have to prepare like you're the guy. But I do know there's this thing of, as long as Jimmy Garoppolo is on the roster, whether he's rehabbing or whatever, this is his team. As long as Jimmy G is on the roster, it's his team. He has the locker room. It's clear. And Trey Lance won't have the locker room until Jimmy Garoppolo is gone. So what do you do? It is clear. The restructures that happened today, to me, lead me to believe that they can't figure out how to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. They overplayed their hand. They wanted too much for an injured and fairly average quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, who can win. Clearly. But I don't see a trade happening right now. And I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know. See my guy, Dynamite Dub, he says, Jimmy ain't going to be on the team. Stop it. I'm not saying he's going to be on the team. What I'm saying is Jimmy is on the team. That's what I'm saying. Jimmy is on the team. Why aren't the Niners restructuring more contracts than Kittle? They did. It was Kittle and Eric Armstead. But also, you don't want to just restructure contracts, because you end up in a situation like the 49ers are with D Ford right now. They can't figure out how to get D Ford off the team because restructures. So you don't want to just restructure guys just because you can. Because at some point you want to get that motherfucker off the team. And now they keep having to kick the can down the street with D Ford because of the initial restructures to free up space. And now they can't really get rid of him. So that's why D Ford has made a lot of money from the 49ers and played very little. Very little. Shout out to everybody with the Flames. I hope everybody's feeling good this morning. 49ers will eat the $7 million, bro. Why? Why would they? Hi, Croc. You are doing great. That's a dope hoodie. They disrespecting the boy Trey. I wouldn't say, shout out to the hoodie. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Walmart special. You feel me? About $15 at Walmart for the Selena. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't say they're disrespecting Trey Lance. It's a business. Yeah, I talk about my time in the NFL. I got cut. All right. I got cut because they were going into the week and they had injuries to what was his name? Joe McKnight, RIP Joe McKnight. Chris Ivory, so 2 running backs had injuries. Brian Winters, he had some ankle injury. They had to release somebody from somewhere else to bring in guys to kind of replace those guys because they weren't going on IR. And I got cut. And it didn't feel like disrespect or anything. It's just the business of it. And I don't think that they're disrespecting Trey Lance, but it's just the business of it. They can't figure out how to, they set a price. Teams weren't willing to meet that. They weren't willing to come off of that. And Jimmy Garoppolo's still on the team. They plan on moving on from him. But my thing is, at the end of the day, especially mentally, until Jimmy is gone, this is not Trey Lance's team. Jimmy can be there all offseason OTAs, all mini camps, all that, and not throw a pass. He don't got to throw a ball. And it doesn't matter. As long as he's there, Trey Lance know you're there. If they overplayed, that's on Shanahan because Lynch is just a figurehead. Get what you get for him and move on. Fans will respect the move. I mean, most fans would, but clearly, Kyle and John, yeah, most people would. But maybe it's one thing is very clear. One thing is very clear. The people inside the locker room, people in the locker room, whether it's coaches, front office people, they have this much higher perception of Jimmy Garoppolo than the rest of the world. And they value that more than the rest of the world. That's very clear. Whether you agree or disagree or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying their perception of Jimmy Garoppolo, his worth, what he does, it's much higher than the rest of the world. Now, there are some people that are just like, listen, when the 49ers have Jimmy Garoppolo, they win. And those people are not wrong. Those people are not wrong. But it's very clear, very clear. Players like Debo Samuel and George Kittle, like those guys coming out and they're talking about them and this, that, and the other. And the perception that they have of them in that locker room is much higher than the Washington Commanders, the Indianapolis Colts. Everybody else sees Jimmy for what they believe Jimmy is. The fans, they see Jimmy for what they believe Jimmy is. Good or bad? I'd say most people know it is. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Appreciate everybody in the chat right now, man. Chat going live. Chat going live. We're talking 49ers football, of course. Restructures. George Kittle. Eric Armstead. What does that mean for Jimmy Garoppolo? If you missed the first 20 minutes of the show, we went over all that in detail. And like I said, the biggest loser in all this, Trey Lance. Because until Jimmy's off the roster, this is Jimmy's team. It's Jimmy's team. All right, y'all, man. Let's get into it. I know y'all want to hear about it. And it was this Deshaun Watson. All right. Deshaun Watson. There were reports yesterday that came out from, and let me go to my DMs because it's for show in the DMs. It goes down in the DMs. It don't go down in my DMs anymore. I'm married. But let me go to this. The sources stuff goes down in the DMs. All right. Here we go. Jordan Schultz, who we follow each other. Didn't realize that. Jordan Schultz and I follow each other. Jordan Schultz comes out and says Deshaun Watson is also meeting with the Niners per league source. I'm told the Saints remain the front runners based on trade assets and the desire to acquire the 26-year-old superstar quarterback. Decision likely by tomorrow. All right. So Schultz has, there's mixed reviews about him and his legitimacy. All right. But that came out yesterday. And obviously it started a firestorm, which was quickly put out by one Matt Mayoko, who came out right away and said the 49ers are not, with capital NOT, meeting with Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. A source just told me. And not just Matt Mayoko, who I'm definitely going to listen to Matt Mayoko, but Peter Schrager as well came out and said the 49ers are not meeting with Deshaun Watson, period. All right. So you hear those guys, and I see a super chat here. I'm going to start it. I will get to that in just a few minutes. Let me get through this real quick. But it started a wildfire, and I see the comments coming here, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, Deshaun Watson." Obviously, it gave me something to talk about. So shout out to the 49ers and everybody else, Jordan Schultz and all these other people. Keep giving me content. I love it, and we can all talk about it, explain it, all that good stuff. All right, but there is somebody that always we text all the time. I mean, not text, we DM all the time, and he's clearly someone that is against. I don't want to say against Trey Lance, but he's pro everything but Trey Lance. That's how it comes off to me in the DMs. But you know me, I got a lot of patience. I'll entertain it, and we have conversations all the time about this stuff. And real quick, just about me. Obviously I like Trey Lance. But the way I view these things, the way I try to view it from like not a pro Trey Lance standpoint, not a pro Jimmy, not pro 49ers, but just what makes sense and what doesn't. Like that's how I try to view it. Everything. Like everything that I talk about with y'all, like what makes sense and what doesn't. When the 49ers were 3-5 and coming off of a terrible loss to the Colts, it made sense to play Trey Lance. That wasn't me just being pro Lance and they need to. Jimmy sucks. Like no, I actually don't think Jimmy played that bad against the Cardinals. But 49ers going to lose anyways. Clearly, Jimmy Garoppolo is not moving the needle enough. At some point, get your young guys some reps, starting reps. He needs it. All right, live reps. He needs it. He said it. Hey, I improved the most over the 2 games that because I had 2 weeks of starting reps. The only 2 weeks he had was starting reps. The only time he had starting reps. All right, but that's why I try to bring that perspective. Like, what makes sense? And from the jump, seeing Jordan Schultz report, it did not make sense. It did not make sense because here's my thing. Regardless of you have Trey Lance and all that, how in the hell would the 49ers be able to get Deshaun Watson? How could they even make that happen? And not just how could they make that happen? Because you're going to have to give them the world, right? They're not just going, oh, well, there's mutual interest between him and the 49ers. So let's go ahead and just trade Deshaun Watson to the 49ers and make them fucking Super Bowl champs. No. I need it all. I need all of it. I need all your picks. I need everything. And guess what, 49ers? You don't got no picks. You don't have first-round picks for the next 2 years. Why would I trade you him? Unless this is what you got to do. You got to give me Trey Lance. You have to give me multiple draft picks. So now, not only do you not have any first-round picks, I need those 2 second-round picks for the next 2 years. So for the next 2 years, you don't have a first, you don't have a second. And you know what? I need those thirds too, since you don't have no ones. I need more draft points here. All right. So I need that. And you know what? I'm going to need Brandon Ayuk. Come on, send Brandon Ayuk over here real quick. And it's going to be kind of hard for you to replace him because you don't have a second-round pick. Go ahead and play with just Debo and Juwan Jennings. And I'm going to need an elite player as well because I'm giving you an elite player. I'm giving you one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. All right. So you know what? I'm going to need give me Nick Bosa or give me Fred Warner. Like, that's what it's going to take. You know what I'm saying? First of all, no team is going to say, hey, we're going to give you Deshaun Watson, but give us Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Debo Samuel. And I'm responding to one of the things in the chat. Like, that ain't going to do it. That ain't going to do it. I need it all. So, again, just how my mind works and what makes sense. This don't make no fucking sense, right? Like, what makes sense about giving up all that on top of what you already gave up to get Trey Lance? So you used 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick on the guy. So you're going to trade that. Essentially 3 first-round picks and a third. On top of that, you're going to have to trade whatever to Houston, Texas, because they can't get those first-round picks. All right, those first-round picks are going, but you gave that up. So you're going to lose out on that and probably multiple second-round picks and probably multiple third-round picks and an elite player. You're going to give up all. Like, it never made sense to me. Never made sense. So that's how I try to view it. Like, what makes sense? That did not make sense. That didn't make sense. All right. But this is how we know that it's not true. All right. Let me go back to the little DMs. It go down in the DMs. Hold on. Here we go. Diana Rossini reports the first step for the Saints, Panthers. And remember, it was the 49ers were meeting with Deshaun Watson like that day or whatever, right? So this is how you know 100% not true. The first step for the Saints, Panthers, and Browns in arranging a meeting with quarterback Deshaun Watson was presenting a trade package to the Texans per multiple league sources. Once Houston approved, only then did they meet. So the 49ers would have had to already offered a trade to Houston Texans just to get the trade approved for Watson to be traded there. So 49ers name ain't on this list. And she said per multiple league sources, not just what Schultz said, which was per one league source or whatever. One league source, whatever. Multiple league sources. Saints, Panthers, Browns, they have already made their offers, and they had to, and it had to get approved by Houston before you can even meet with him. Before you can even meet with him. Don't even think about meeting with him until you offer us something that we like. And 49ers ain't got it. And here's something as well. I do Locked On NFL Draft. I'll talk to y'all about that. And make sure y'all listen to Locked On NFL Draft. We're also on YouTube. Hit the subscribe, like, all that good stuff. All right, but we have my guy John Harris on. John Harris is a beat writer for the Houston Texans. He covers the Texans. He is does radio stuff for the Texans. He travels to the combine combine for them. He travels to the Senior Bowl for them. Like, he is plugged in with the Houston Texans. I asked him, hey man, you think any truth to Deshaun Watson meet to the 49ers? He said, no. No. He said, absolutely not. I was like, well, yeah, Matt Mayoko and those guys, they came out. He said, Mayoko said it ain't happening. He said, Croc, it ain't happening. Ain't no meeting. And I was like, well, Peter Schrager. He said, Peter Schrager came out and said it. He said, Peter Schrager, if he says there's no meeting with Watson, he got that straight from the horse's mouth. Also, he said this. The Texans wouldn't want Trey Lance, and they don't want Jimmy Garoppolo. Texans don't want Trey Lance, and they don't want Jimmy. They actually like Davis Mills. And they didn't have Trey Lance as high up on their quarterback rankings to like give up Deshaun Watson for him and trade for him. Like, they wouldn't do it. So, no. Those trade or the Deshaun Watson meeting with him. Again, guys, I challenge y'all to ask, like, when these things go down before like reacting, and a lot of times you'll see I don't really react on social media. Part of it is because I kind of learned to give my takes on here as opposed to Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So all 530 of y'all in here, y'all get my thoughts. I'll sit on it for a while. I'll think about it. But I don't give my takes on Twitter anymore. I say that for the people. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. But I hope that made sense, man. Before y'all, start getting too worked up about anything, just ask yourself, does it make sense? Does it make sense? I know it is now, man. I'm giving y'all the opportunity to come on live. Let's talk about it. Any of y'all thoughts? Jimmy Garoppolo staying around? Feel free. Slide through. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about the Deshaun Watson thing, restructuring contracts, whatever it is that y'all want to talk about, click the link right there. Come on live. Talk to your boy. Let's go. Croc, they just restructured Kittle, Armstead, made $18 million in cap, and don't have to release Jimmy. Correct. Did have a super chat here. Hey Croc, what up with the O-line? Any free agents available? We might look at with Lakin leaving. I'd be curious to see if the 49ers, how they feel about their guys that they have in-house. I'd assume they bring in somebody for agency. But the guard position, if we're talking about guards, that's supposed to be one of the quote-unquote easier plug-and-play positions. When the 49ers traded a fifth-round pick for Lakin Tomlinson, did you think that you were getting a guy that was going to start for the next 3 years or however long it was and not miss a game? Last year played 100% of the snaps? Probably not. Make a Pro Bowl, and they traded a fifth-round pick for him? Probably not, right? If you can find kind of the right little fit or whatever, a guy that just fits what you do, it can be serviceable. Daniel Brunskill, it's not great by any means. Not great. He was just in the AAF, but he can be serviceable. Now, obviously, would you love to improve? Of course. But with all these serviceable motherfuckers the 49ers got on the offensive line, they have, right? I mean, if you look at the numbers, have one of the better offensive lines in the league. One of the better offensive lines in the league. Here we go. We got the first caller coming on. Got my guy Cameron tuning in. Cameron, what's up, man? Good morning.
What's going on, Croc?
Oh, man, I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm depressed, man. I'm honestly depressed. I just woke up expecting some sort of Jimmy G news, and I saw that we restructured Eric and George, which means we're going to be able to clear the cap. cap hit today, which really makes me believe that we're keeping Jimmy longer. I really don't want to, man. I'm wearing my Trey Lance jersey right now.
Well, woke up with the Lance jersey on. Did you sleep in it?
Yeah, dude. It's I've been hoping, like, because I wore my Jimmy G jersey yesterday, hoping he'd get traded yesterday. Because my thought process was yesterday was the last day of the tampering period because the new league starts today. So I was thinking, if I'm wearing my Jimmy G jersey the last day of the tampering period, some team's going to want to get him because I'm wearing the jersey. It's just my thought process. But it's not how it works.
That's not how it works, right? And 49ers are kind of proving that. And I think a lot of it, do you think the 49ers have kind of overplayed their hand with this? Do you think the 49ers said, you know what, we're setting the bar high. If you want Jimmy Garoppolo, you're going to have to really come with it. And the rest of the league is like, we're not as high on Jimmy as you are.
Honestly, I think that the Niners were doing a good job because if you think about it, we got to the NFC Championship with Jimmy. Now, I'm not a Jimmy rider. I'm not a Jimmy rider. I'm not a Trey Lance rider. I'm kind of whoever is best is going to be best. Like I kind of trust the organization because they know more than I do.
Right.
But I think that we got there in spite of Jimmy G, not because of Jimmy G. So I think the Niners during these trade talks are saying, hey, this guy got us to a Super Bowl and this guy got us to an NFC Championship game. But the other teams are saying, no, Tebow Samuel did that. Your defensive line did that. Your amazing running game did that. So
your
for
special
me,
teams
it's really,
that blocked a field goal and
yeah, no, dude,
a punt for a touchdown did that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think we're gonna keep Jimmy. Maybe till training camp. I think there's gonna be a team that loses their quarterback because every year there is. Some guy gets hurt, some guy becomes a diva. Something happens and a team needs a quarterback last minute. So I think that's the last resort for the Niners. I don't think anyone's going to realistically trade something for Jimmy. So that's just my 2 cents.
We'll see, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm going to get to the next caller.
Yeah, of course. Take it easy.
Keep that jersey on all day, man. Maybe
yes,
it'll
sir.
get a little bit more lucky at some point. It hasn't been lucky for Trey Lance yet. All right, you have a good one. All right, here we go. Coming up now, I got Parametalhead. I like that name. Parametalhead. Did I say it right?
Yeah, Parametalhead.
All right. How you doing? Man, that's a great beard.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks.
I got people that come on here all the time. They got great beards. I got like this beard that it doesn't really grow in thick. And I don't know. Maybe I got the wrong products or whatever, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just didn't cut it and it just did it.
That's just so. What's on your mind, man?
Well, I just had a question about, the whole locker room thing. And I mean, obviously I never played, so I can't speak to that shit, but hold on, let me put the light on here.
All right, all good.
So I mean, if they have to keep him as a backup and they say, well, it's Jimmy's locker room. I mean, like you said, it's a business. So, I mean, these guys aren't going to play shitty just because they don't want to play for Lance. I mean, I can't imagine they would really do that, would they?
No.
Yeah, I mean, if they had to keep him, they could, and people would get used to it and they'll play.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, you could keep him, but I just don't think that. I don't think you can have Jimmy Garoppolo as the backup quarterback because it's his locker room. So you got to remember, there's players on this team like Tebow Samuel. He's come out and Tebow said, "Listen, this is we love Jimmy, and I talk to Kyle Shanahan all the time." He was like, me and Kyle talk about anything and everything. He's always in Kyle's office. He has this great open relationship with Kyle Shanahan. So the moment Trey Lance misses a throw or misses a read, Debo gonna be the first one. Hey, Jimmy would have made that throw, or Jimmy would have made that read. You gotta go to Jimmy. Like, you know what I'm saying? And not just to put down him. I mean, a lot of the locker room feels like they love Jimmy Garoppolo. And again, their opinion, whether it's the players, coaches, whatever, is much higher on Jimmy than the rest of the league. I just saw someone in the comments say, "Oh man, Jimmy, 49ers just win 70% of the games with him and stuff like that." And even then, nobody wants him. The rest of the league don't want him. So we could say that we could throw out the numbers, and 70% of the time the 49ers have won with him and all that, and the rest of the league still doesn't value him to that point.
Well, because when it came down to it, he didn't get it done, so it really doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah. Right on, man. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
That's an awesome beard. Here we go. Got a super chat here. The relationship is over. It's time to move on. At this point, Jimmy is like the girlfriend or marriage that is lingering on instead of just ending it. It's not even that. You know what? It's not even that. Here's a good one. Jimmy, it is a marriage that's over, right? Me and my wife, right? Me and my wife, we're married, happily married. But let's say, all right, babe, we're getting a divorce. We got the divorce. She moved the new boyfriend in the house, but I'm still staying in my office. Like, I ain't leaving my office. And I know my wife is like, Eric, just get out the house. And I'm like, no, I'm staying in my office. Like, that's what it is. The relationship is over. The divorce has happened, but the new boyfriend has moved in. And Jimmy is still there. He's like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. And it's not really on him. It's on the front office. It's there. If Jimmy, I bet if they were to tell Jimmy right now, hey, do you want us to wait until July to cut you? I mean, to trade you, or do you want us to let you go right now? I bet Jimmy would be like, man, just let me go right now. Let me go right now. I knew it, Croc. Jimmy freaking G another year. In all honesty, y'all, I don't think Jimmy will be there for the whole year, but I just know as long as he is there, however long that is, it's his team, it's his roster, it's his locker room. Appreciate everybody's in the chat right now. If you like the show so far, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified when I go live. I just put in the chat the link. Feel free to come on. We've talked about, and again, I know some of y'all just checking in, but we've been in here for the last 40 minutes. And we've had some good conversations about the restructures of contracts. What does it mean for Jimmy Garoppolo? The Deshaun Watson thing, we touched on that, and we're going to continue to get into it. Here we go. I got your Bama on.
What up, Croc? What's going on with you, bro?
Oh, man, I'm chilling. You drive trucks?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we out here making a country move, dog.
Where are you at right now?
I'm on the West Coast. I'm on my way to enemy territory near Seattle.
Oh, man. Okay, Pacific Northwest. How's the weather?
Yeah.
How's the weather up there right now?
It's beautiful, man. It's 44 degrees. It's better than Montana, Wyoming, all those cold places, man.
Awesome. Well, what's on your mind? And remember, keep your eyes on the road. Don't look down at the phone.
I got you. But yeah, man, I would say that I think the front office has created a very toxic situation. If they knew that they was going to have these issues with keeping Jimmy Garoppolo as a quarterback, or even had any indication that he was going to basically stay as long as he was, why they even trade a whole 3 first rounds and a third round to get Trey Lance? Because really, they just really hurt this man's development. Like you just said earlier, they basically had him to lose out a year. They couldn't get rid of him. They knew that the rest of the league is not going to value him just as much as they value him. And so why would they even put this young man in a situation? Really, I think that they should just go ahead and just trade Trey Lance, because I would demand a trade. I don't see any benefits, because if Eric Armstead and Kittles, which are Jimmy buddies, they pretty much restructured their contracts just to make sure that they get up under the salary cap. They only did that because they want Jimmy Garoppolo to stay on that team. And then you got to think in terms of Tebow Samuel. Tebow Samuel, he's going to take probably a team-friendly deal just to keep Jimmy Garoppolo on that team. So that whole team is basically against Trey Lance. Why even put him in that situation?
Yeah, so I just saw someone in the comments saying too, it says it's all about personalities. Trey and Jimmy, they're not toxic. So yeah, Trey Lance, excuse me. I don't think there's any scenario where Trey Lance is going to be like, you know what, I'm going to force a trade. He seems like a very high level, high character guy. I believe he's just going to continue to work and control what he can control. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to have Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster last year, where Trey Lance gets a chance to just kind of learn from him, and the quarterback that's been there, done that, and Jimmy Garoppolo clearly has had success at a high level, reaching the Super Bowl and an NFC Championship, and there's only 2 healthy seasons. I think he's a great person for Trey Lance to learn from. But yeah, he got to go. Now, why'd they trade up all that stuff? They traded because I think they really like Trey Lance. I think they really love him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that come out. I don't think it's the organization. You know, we hear all these different things. If you remember back during the draft process, Kyle Shanahan talked about how he knew they wanted Trey Lance, but they weren't going to tell the media and everybody, hey, you're wrong, right? They weren't going to come out and say it. They weren't going to come out and show their hand. So, I think this is a situation like that where we continue to hear a bunch of different things. We continue to hear all these rumors and the Deshaun Watson. And I bet Kyle Shanahan is sitting back and he's like, Trey, don't worry about any of this. You're the guy. We're moving, Jimmy. We're just trying to figure out how to. So I would say, just continue to be patient, Trey Lance. Continue to work hard. He's down in L.A. working on mechanics and things like that. Continue to do those things and put himself in position to be ready come OTAs.
Let me say one more and I'm going to get off. Now, if they let this thing continue to drag on, and let's just say hypothetically they allow Jimmy Garoppolo to start another year, which a lot of us don't want to happen. Now, remember, we are on a rookie contract with Trey Lance.
Right.
Now, he going to remember all of this. Now, they got to remember, okay, you didn't do him favorably when he first came in the league, so he's going to keep all of this in mind. And when it's time for him to get paid, he going to definitely take them to the cleaners. If not, he going to get up out of there. So I just want to put that out there, big dog.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right. And also, I mean, as it pertains to what Trey Lance is going to ask for once it comes down to his contract, when hopefully he's playing at a really high level and 49ers won multiple Super Bowls with him on the rookie contract, all that good stuff, hopefully, right? The market will dictate what he gets paid. So, I don't think we have to worry about that too much. All right. Shout out to my guy, Archie, with the contribution here. Over 600 people. Let's show this show some love. Let's do that, man. Hit that like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff. Appreciate the contribution, Archie. All right. What are we doing with Mostert? Man, gunner, but bruises like a banana. Man's a gunner, but bruises like a banana. I know, right? I got some bananas in there right now that are bruised. That was kind of corny. I don't know. I would love to bring Mostert back. And, obviously right now he hasn't been picked up. We'll see what the market is for him over the next few days. Today's the first official day of free agency. And we'll see what guys start to get and what they're offered and whatnot. But if 49ers can bring Mostert back on the low, I think he has to come back. And you just tell him, listen, you don't got to be the guy. We don't got to hand the ball to you 15 times. We'll give you about 8 carries a game. We know you can score from any time you touch the ball. We'll let Elijah Mitchell take the beating. But we're going to bring you back, keep you fresh, and let's make a run for the Super Bowl. Let's lean on you with this young quarterback. Lean on you in the backfield. All right, so that would kind of be my pitch to him. Hopefully the 49ers bring Mostert back. But, yeah, great gunner, but definitely bruises like a banana. I like that one. All right. Here we go. I got my guy Keith Murphy coming on, man. Keith Murray, what's up, man? Good morning. Where you at? See a lot of look like land. What is that? Land in the background?
Oh man, I'm in North Carolina right now, in the hospital, unfortunately, visiting a family member. But
prayers up to the family.
To show. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Jimmy, this thing is just lingering on, and I tell me the logic because we got Jimmy for a 2, right?
Yes.
When he was still young, he had injuries in New England, but no major injuries. He was still not that good yet, right?
Right.
So at this point, why would we think we could get more when he's older, been hurt, ACL, going through a surgery right now, shoulder? What will we hold out for more than what we got him for?
Well, the production. Right? Like on paper, if you just look at Jimmy Garoppolo on paper, I think it looks really good. From his, statistics, numbers, yards per
But
attempt.
He doesn't even have a 2-to-1 interception
except for that
touchdown rating.
Right? Because except for that, and I think that's the thing. A lot of maybe the teams will push back on. Like, dude, I'm looking at his touchdown interception ratio. Shit ain't great. Like, it ain't. It's not up there with the other guys. Not for what you're asking for him.
No, we run a unique offense that goes mostly through the run game, which sets him up for. Most teams today don't run that kind of offense. So, look, Carson Wentz. If you just look at his numbers, they look fine. But
Yeah.
when you look at his play in certain moments, you like the jury speaks to a different stance. Which I would put Jimmy as more of a gamer than Wentz probably, but
Yeah.
he's not a quarterback that can. Why would I trade draft capital for a quarterback that can't be a reason why I win?
Mm. Oh, you need to put that saying on a t-shirt.
I mean,
Yeah,
because isn't
no.
that what you trade draft capital for? Somebody that can immediately help you, not
Well, I
like
went okay. So see,
Von.
there's the thing. I don't know if you would say you trade draft capital for someone who can immediately help you, but definitely someone who eventually
Well,
can't be the
except for
guy
Trey
that will
Lance,
be the
right?
reason why you win. Now,
Well,
the
yeah,
only pushback on that is a lot of people would tell you, well, without Jimmy Garoppolo, 49ers they haven't won a lot of games, and with him, like I saw someone put in there about 10 minutes ago, they've won 70% of the games while he's at quarterback. So now my
I
pushback
think
on
that's
that
an
is, are we
anomaly.
comparing him
Is
to Mullins and Beathard and
Caesar
Hoyer and
Beathard.
yeah,
Yeah, like they haven't had, they didn't have a quality backup like Mariota, Tannehill, or Foles to Wentz when he's in. I don't look. What is Mullins and Beathard doing now that they're gone? Nothing.
right.
So it's not like he said in like he went twice with Trey this year, starting went 1-1. I think we would win a lot of games with Trey. Um, we would win more than whatever we 7-27 when we are with Beathard and Mullins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think that he's still damaged goods with all those injuries. He was hurt in New England before he got here. Now he's had like 3 major injuries since he's been here. Hurt last year with a high ankle sprain. Hurt in 2018 with ACL. Hurt this year with a shoulder, then a finger. I mean, I don't know. Is there a part of his body that hasn't been hurt?
Yeah, he's been kind of banged up. And I will say this, man, there are a lot of quarterbacks that deal with certain things and injuries and stuff like that. Unfortunately for him, he's had a little bit more bad luck, I guess you could say. And it's not just his time with the 49ers. That was something that was going on
Right.
with him when he was in New England. He had the shoulder injury. I think he had a thumb or something too. He had something else because remember Martellus Bennett called him a bitch. So,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of different things going on with Jimmy Garoppolo throughout his career. But again, the pushback will always be for most people that love Jimmy or you can win with him. And that's my argument with how he can help
I think
teams
he
like
can. I
watching the
think he is
Commanders and
solid.
whatnot. Yeah.
I think he's solid, but I wouldn't trade up capital and have to pay him $26 million on top of it. That just makes no sense. As a matter of fact, if we were another fan base, and we were looking at Jimmy, what do you think we would want to trade for him?
Yeah, see, that's a great question. I've never even looked at it from that perspective. I would say if you were to ask the fans, maybe not much, because anytime I bring up the thought of Jimmy Garoppolo helping a team, their fan base attacks me and says they want absolutely nothing to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. Most of them, I'd say 90% of the fans in that fan base do not want him. I remember
Oh, I
putting
agree
out
with
on
Mark.
Twitter that hey man, like the New York Giants add them to the list of teams that Jimmy Garoppolo could help win, and their fans like laughed at me and like was like, this is a joke. Like we don't want him, and I'm like, damn, like he can make y'all better though, and they don't
You think
care.
he
Like these
could?
other teams,
I don't.
I,
Where would you rank Jimmy? I would rank him a bottom third starting quarterback,
I
somewhere
think
between
he's
18 and 20.
yeah, he's in that range. Yes, he's in that range, but I feel like he has some of these intangibles that don't necessarily show up on film, right? Like or on paper. Like he
Right.
okay, the first year, and I saw someone come in and say, well, Jimmy Garoppolo contributed to wins right away. And he did. And I think a big part of that was, man, he was money on third down. His numbers weren't great in the sense of touchdown passes and interceptions. His touchdown interception ratio really was ass in those 5 starts. It was
Never
like
been great.
6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Like
5
that
picks.
sucks.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean 5 interceptions. That's not good. But he was like number 1 in the league on third down. And I think, it's kind of hard for a lot of people to kind of view him through the light of just the little things that he does well, because I know it is kind of like, how consistent is that? And if he's not good there, then what does it look like? And we saw that early on this year. Remember games like Philadelphia Eagles couldn't pick up a first down, so it just looks so bad, right? Like it's just it's 3 straight 3-and-outs. Can't move the ball. Finally, he makes a great throw to Debo Samuel. They score before half. They struggled to kind of get points because he was just out of sync. He wasn't converting on third downs. I think that was the issue early on for a lot of it, where Jimmy was not converting on third downs. When if he's going to be good, he has to do that because he doesn't really have a changeup in his game. And but I think he does those little things when the 49ers are on. He does those things at a really good level that help contribute to wins. But you're not going to watch him and say, oh, man, this dude, he's so good. And I think that's the issue with fans. A lot of times from opposing teams, they see him for like through this different lens.
There are times Carson Wentz, you look at him and like, oh, man, he's so good, which is why a couple years ago, I guess he was in the running for MVP, right? But in the big scheme of things, he is what he is, and Jimmy is what he is. And I would not – so I'm a guy last year that thought we should have looked at Jameis. And when they got him for $5 million, I think Jameis is better than Jimmy. He had 14 touchdowns, 3 picks before he tore his ACL last year. And they would not have been – they would have been the 6th seed if he'd have stayed healthy. I 100% believe we would have been the 7th seed. They would have had a better record than us. They were kind of rolling, and their defense was going too. Jameis was playing good football.
I would not take Jameis over Jimmy. I think Jameis is more talented, right? Like he actually is a little bit more mobile. He can move better, bigger arms, stretch the field, more explosive plays, all that. But he just does a lot of stupid shit. And I know he kind of improved on it early last year. I know, but he does stupid stuff at a high. I mean, 30 touchdowns is like, wow, that's great. Then it's like 30 interceptions. Like that is a lot of interceptions. That's a lot.
I know,
like,
but playing under Peyton, he did way better last year. He did. I think Sean Payton. I mean, everything system and that area system is meant to air out, and you're gonna make a lot of. It took Brady a while to get Arians to let him kind of run some of his offense, and then that's when Tampa turned around, and then they won the Super Bowl. Arians wants to air that ball out to the point where I think Sean Payton is a better coach than Bruce Arians.
Right. And now, what about right now? Because you know there is no Sean Payton now over there. So do you still think that with Allen, Jimmy is a good fit for the Saints?
Well, I'm critical of Jimmy. You ever heard Marshall Faulk's interview? He said I would bring Jimmy to my team as a backup. I would never look for him to be the answer on my team because after he gets done making $26 million, what do you think his market is next year when his contract is up?
I don't know. Here's the better question, and I'll end with this and get to the next caller.
Yeah.
If the 49ers cut Jimmy Garoppolo today, what kind of money do you think he receives on the open market?
10 maybe.
10 million? Yeah, maybe with incentives, maybe?
Maybe, yes. And it's gonna be like, I don't even know who would do it now. Who doesn't have a starter that you're like, Goff is playing in Detroit. He's terrible, but they're not gonna replace Goff with Jimmy. Who is gonna pick him up to start?
I think teams will pick him up to start. I think so.
Who?
Panthers would. If Carolina doesn't get Deshaun Watson, I bet they would.
I don't doubt that. That's one. I mean, I bet we can name 7 or 8. No way.
I think the Colts would pick him up and make him their starter.
Out of desperation.
All right. Hey, Keith, man, I appreciate having you on. I'm going to get to the next caller, man. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Hey, take it easy.
All right. Here we go. I got the next guy on, my guy, Rick the Ruler.
What's good, Croc? What's good, man?
Man, what's good? How you doing this morning?
Good, bro. When it comes to Jimmy G, and maybe you can help me, my comparison to him, I think he's a better version of Tim Tebow. Because remember back when they had Tim Tebow mania and everything, and a lot of people were like, he's okay, but he's surrounded by a great team. And I think that's the same thing with Jimmy G. Because if you look at Jimmy G is like, he'll mess up all game, but he has kind of that it factor long as you give him the ball at the end. You know what I'm saying? So he can mess up all game, and that's what we as 49er fans would get frustrated with. Because it's like, dude, we're in games at the end when we should be blowing them out because you played like trash a lot. But then at the end of the game, if the defense holds up and we need one more drive, you kind of trust Jimmy G to make a couple passes, whatever, and we'll get down, either score a touchdown, field goal, and then the whole narrative changes. Like, oh man, Jimmy G had a game-winning drive. They kicked a field goal, they cut a touchdown, but 3 quarters he played like trash, and our defense been holding up. And so that's what Jimmy G fans versus anti-Jimmy G fans always disagree with. We're like, yeah, he did good at that last drive, but what about the 3 quarters of the game? And the Jimmy G fans are like, forget about 3 quarters of the game. Just look at that 1 quarter or that last drive.
I hear what you're saying, because I remember Tebow mania and all that, and how like they just, but Jim is not. It's not to say Jimmy's better than that. Like
I would say he's better than.
I mean, I get what you're saying in the sense of, because here's kind of my argument for Jimmy Garoppolo. Like that kind of frustrates me a little bit. He does not blow teams out. Jimmy struggles to put teams away. He's going to do things throughout games that keep other teams in the game unless you completely take the ball out of his hands and you're able to blow a team out with your run game. And we've seen the 49ers be able to do that, right? Whether it's in the NFC Championship against the Packers, whether it's in the divisional round game against the Vikings where they didn't blow them out, but they were able to win with the run game. I remember that same year, Carolina Panthers, 49ers ran for it, felt like 400 yards and scored 51 points while Jimmy, threw for like 120 yards, whatever it was. Like Jimmy, if he has to throw more times than not, but he's a much better quarterback than Tim Tebow.
Right.
But I get you in the sense of the games are close. He does something at the end to win the game, and that was very Tebow-like.
Right. And like you said, that's the part that's frustrating because, like you said before, just take back the Dallas game. There's no way. It's so frustrating that we don't have games where we're sitting on the sideline, everybody's high-fiving, laughing, whatever. It's like you'll go from, like, even the Dallas game, and I went to it 3 quarters in. You know what I'm saying? My wife and I and my brother, we're laughing and everything. Come 4th quarter, we're laughing. Next, we're like, oh crap, here we go. And you sit up in your seat now. You're like, you look like, come on, man, don't do it. And then
you were there, so tell people about the crowd, because for most of that game,
the crowd was so silent. I mean, because you couldn't hear anything because on third down, typically they're trying to pump up the Cowboy crowd and they're like, come on, with Zeke, and I can't hear you, and get loud. By the end of the third quarter, it was super library quiet. But once he threw that pick, it ignited him. It ignited him so much, and you were like, what the hell? And then even just to kneel the ball, just to salt the game away, you're like, come on, man, come on. And that's the thing with Jimmy G. And so I don't think he's trash, but for a lot of Jimmy G fans, I'm like, people don't see him the way you all see him. It's just like, look, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like
the way they see him. Nobody. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like somebody said, "Oh, my child looks good," and other people like, that baby got on Polo and Jordans. That's a Polo Jordan baby. And the parents are like, my baby's handsome and cute. And you're like, no, that baby with Polo, Prada, and Balenciagas. That's what that baby is. And that's the whole thing. So I'm frustrated, but hopefully we'll get something for him. But I think, honestly, getting 2 twos or whatever, if we get a 2 right now, run it up and go get it. Because I don't think that we're going to get that much from him. I think people are going to wait it out and see if we'll settle for 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever, just to get him off our books.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. There's a lot of truth to what you said, man. Rick, I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Keep doing your thing. Definitely like and subscribe, everybody.
Yeah, like and subscribe, man. Listen to my dog, Rick. All right, you got to come on again soon, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shout out to all 715 of y'all in here right now. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also come on live, man. You have something that you want to get to and you want to get something off your mind. I mean, off your chest, whatever. This is the place to do it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, this show is powered, sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Right there, download the app Underdog Fantasy or go to underdogfantasy.com. Use promo code Crocky. They'll match whatever you put in there. If you're into over-unders on player props, things like that, NBA, NFL, they got some golf stuff. They got everything you need. That is the place to do it. Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Crocky. Do that right now. Got another caller coming on, but real quick, definitely want to get into this comment here. Because y'all know, man, I'm for sure going to push back. Anytime somebody starts talking about the 49ers secondary, I'm going to push back. This is not true. All right. Dallas started passing every down in the fourth, just like the Rams finally did. Had playoff teams ditch the run and passed it, we would have been destroyed. Not true. Not true. You know how Cowboys got back in that game? It wasn't because they ditched the run. Obviously, I mean, they had to start throwing the ball. First of all, the 49ers went to prevent defense. Cowboys had like no timeouts or whatever. So that's part of it. Prevent defense. That you're going to give them some stuff. But that's not why. Jimmy Garoppolo fucking threw a interception 6 yards over somebody's head when rolling out and it set up a short field. And Dak Prescott ran into the end zone on a short field. It wasn't that they just ditched the run and started throwing the ball and they had all this crazy success. No, they did not. No, that's not how it happened. Dak Prescott barely, I don't even know if he had 200 passing yards. And if he did, it took that last drive to get over it when the 49ers were in prevent defense. Like, 49ers didn't give up a lot in the passing game. Team played very well. Pass defense played well. Cowboys were the highest scoring offense in the league and the most highest yards per game in the league. They threw for a ton of yards and could barely do it on the 49ers. So you think all of a sudden the team that they feel like they could take advantage of a secondary, oh, we're not going to throw the ball, we're just going to run the ball. Even though we've been throwing the ball on everybody all year. All year we've been airing it out, throwing for all these yards, all this, that, and the other. Look, my guy, he got me going. Preach, Croc. The Cowboys been throwing the ball but all of a sudden, oh, we're not going to do it against the 49ers. We're going to try to run. And that's their strength. And you think they just ditched that? No. Threw a bad interception. Matter of fact, 49ers are really lucky. Jimmy threw a shitty-ass pass to George Kittle that one-hopped because George Kittle ended up picking up and fumbling, right? And it's not Jimmy's fault that Kittle fumbled and it ended up getting overturned. But it got overturned because Jimmy threw a screen pass or whatever that was into the dirt, into the ground. Like, Jimmy, man. Don't get me going on Jimmy. Here we go. I got my guy Cody coming on. Cody, how you doing, man? Good morning.
Hey, I'm doing good, Croc. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Hey, I just saw, man, they restructured Kittle to have him down to an $8 million cap hit, and then they all of Armstead to a signing bonus. So now he's got like a $1.9 million, which basically makes them underneath the damn cap to keep Jimmy G on the roster. Do you think that this is just a temporary fix and they're just doing this to buy time till 1 o'clock, or do you think they're really going to try to keep him on?
Yeah, I do. I believe it's what they had to do. It's like we got to get under the cap, restructure guys that you believe are going to be around for the long haul, which is Armstead and George Kittle, obviously. So they're going to be around. Go ahead, restructure those contracts. Have that in play just in case you're not able to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo before the new league year. Clear that it wasn't going to happen. Okay, let's hit the restructure button on these guys, and then we'll just let things play out and see how it happens. But I would say that the goal is to move on from Jimmy. But right now they got to find a suitor. And did they overplay their hand? Did they believe that he was worth more than the rest of the NFL fields, or at least the teams that have a vacancy at the quarterback position? I think most people believe, yes, they kind of overplayed it.
Yeah, so they're not getting anything close to 2 2s like they think they are, right?
No. The only way they can get that at this point, is if a quarterback on another team gets hurt and goes down, and they're going to be desperate for a starting quarterback. But as of right now, teams that have, openings, but they can kind of see what happens with Deshaun Watson. They can let that play out. They can see what's going on with Jimmy's shoulder, how that whole thing is going to heal. See, maybe look into the draft. Do they want a guy like that? look into guys like Mariota. Like guys are going to look into all those options right now, as opposed to giving the 49ers 2 second-round picks for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Now, do you think if they keep him on to OTAs to where he's actually supposed to be ready to throw, right? Is that the timetable I think we're looking at? Or is it a little bit past that?
Wait, repeat that, please.
I mean, are we, as far as the timeline for Jimmy to start throwing again, we're looking at OTAs?
No, it sounds like training camp.
Training camp, okay.
So,
Now,
yeah, I mean, we're missing all OTAs, all mini camp. And for a team that maybe has like this high thought of Jimmy Garoppolo, then maybe they might not care that he doesn't have to throw in OTAs and minicamp. They might say, you know what, whatever. We know who you are. We know what you could do. We don't need you to throw. But a team that's like, shoot, man, we trading this for Jimmy Garoppolo. We need this dude to come in clicking on all cylinders. Like, we want him. We think he's a guy that needs to be here in OTAs. They're going to be a little bit more hesitant to trade for him right now.
Jeez. Now, do you think that's going to create somewhat of a mutiny in the locker room with him sitting there being on the team possibly that long?
It doesn't help, right? It doesn't help guys like Trey Lance. And again, just from the psychological aspect of this, being a young guy, understanding and being in that locker room last year, like, this is not my team as long as Jimmy Garoppolo is on the roster. It's clear.
Right.
This is Jimmy Garoppolo's locker room. The players love him. Everybody else around the NFL might be like, matter of fact, Tebow kind of sneak dissed him on the low, not even really knowing, when he was like, oh man, yeah, the Rams, they knew we wanted to run the ball. They crowded the box and they made us have to throw, and we don't win that way. Well, like, yeah, you're basically kind of sneak dissing your quarterback without purposely knowing that he won it. But, but they love him. They're going to back him. They saw the things that he went through. They talked about the injuries and all this, that, and the other. So knowing that and how much they'll go to bat for Jimmy Garoppolo, as long as he's on the roster, from the psychological aspect of things, it's going to be hard for Trey Lance to really feel comfortable with making mistakes,
right?
Having growing pains, as long as he's on the roster, because people are going to be looking at Jimmy like, well, coach, we don't have
these. Is he ready?
We know we could win with Jimmy. We know we could do this with him, but we got to go through some of these ups and downs with this rookie. We don't want to do that. So you got to just have Jimmy off the roster completely. I think that would be kind of the biggest hiccup throughout the process of Trey Lance's development. Not bad for him last year. I think it was good for Trey Lance to kind of sit. And I wasn't a guy that was for that, but it seemed like it did him good. It seems like he truly, he learned a lot, and he's going to continue, but he'll be even better once it's like, all right, this is his team.
Jeez. I don't know. I think that they need to get rid of him a lot sooner than anything as far as OTAs and even in minicamp. I think once you start gelling, it's getting your team ready for the season. You can't have the distraction of having a broke quarterback, you know what I'm saying, on the roster. But anyways, I just want to say, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. That's it.
Appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir. Have a good one, Croc.
You too. I would love, and I always do this, but the person never responds. I don't know, where is it? Gosh, where was it? The Q trademark. I would love, because I think sometimes when people push back on Jimmy Garoppolo or say some words of encouragement for Trey Lance, it comes off as if you're hyping Trey Lance, but you're hating on Jimmy Garoppolo. So Q trademark, unless somebody sends me a contribution, I'll leave this up here. If you comment in the chat, I would love to have you on so I can hear your perspective live, because again, this show isn't about, I'm right, you're wrong, or, you know what I'm saying, or you're right, I'm wrong. Like, let's just have that conversation. So instead of saying fans hyping Trey and hating on Jimmy, let's just have a full-on conversation about how you feel. Even this guy here, faithful then, faithful now. Come on live, and let's have that conversation. All right. For the next guys coming up, got a couple minutes where you can kind of give your initial thought. I got my guy J Law coming on. J Law, what's on your mind?
Man, so first off, I just want to say I'm stoked. I was very stoked this morning to wake up and see the restructuring done for Kittle and Armstead. Mostly because of all of those rumors we were hearing about, people saying, trade Kittle, get him off the bench and get extra trade picks and all that stuff. And I'm gonna be real, Croc. After Buckner, like I'm super gun shy during this time of season. I expect some of my favorite players to get traded, and like my Kittle jersey gonna have to get retired and stuff like that. So it was a breath of fresh air to see that they got that handled this morning. And I think people are looking at it the wrong way, like, oh, we're keeping Jimmy. Nah, he's still getting traded. This just gives the Niners management team and coaching staff the time that they need to make sure that they get what Jimmy is worth. Because I think we'll get at least a second round for him with maybe a conditional, like third that can turn into a second if he plays a certain amount of plays. Jimmy G is the poor man's version of Kirk Cousins. Like he's a good quarterback, only he's got better leadership skills than Kirk Cousins. So when you're in a position like the Colts are, or like the Panthers are, where they need a solid leader in the quarterback position, once Deshaun Watson is off the trade market, Jimmy Garoppolo's it. There's nothing else. I can't believe Mitchell Trubisky went before Jimmy Garoppolo, but I think a lot of that has to do with the surgery that Jimmy waited so long to get. But that's my perspective on it. What you think, Brock?
Yeah, I got you. We've talked about it a little bit. I'm going to get to the next caller, but I definitely want you to be able to get that off, all right? I got to get to the next caller now. All right, J-Law. Here we go. I got my guy K Nice coming on. K Nice, man, good morning. Good to see you again.
What's up, man? Just real quick, man, I don't think people give enough credit to Kyle and Lynch with the locker room that they've built. Like, these guys, how many teams do you hear where guys are every year reconstructing their contracts? Like, I wish we can see that number from team to team, but it's like a lot of our guys on our team are very, very team first. And that's a good thing going towards in the future. As far as Jimmy, I think it's gonna be a while before we'll be able to let him go. I think teams are gonna wait to see what happened with Deshaun Watson. They're gonna wait through the draft. They're gonna wait for him to start throwing to see where he's at. So I just think it's just gonna have to be one of those things where it's a patience thing. I think Kyle and them are ready to move on from Jimmy. I just think it's a patience thing because the problem with Jimmy, to me, the problem with Jimmy has always been is his confidence. He looks very confident on the outside, but on the inside, man, he ain't confident. You could tell all the injuries he's had, and it's just one of those things where I think he's gotten into the mind frame of don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. But when you think like that and play like that, you end up messing up. And I think that's part of his problem. He has those moments where he's like, I can get this throw in there, but then you see other moments where he's not as confident. So I definitely think it's time for Jimmy to move on, maybe go try a new scenery, see how he does, see if he can, get his career back on track. But I think it's definitely going to have to be something we have to be patient with. It's not going to happen overnight. I mean, like I said, these teams have no reason to jump the gun right now and just bring him in. I mean, if I was another team, I will wait and see how he throws if I'm going to make that decision. So
right. Yep, and that might be the holdup, man. K Nice, I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you, man.
All right. Here we go. Next up, I got my guy, Chris Roscoe's. What up, Chris? Good morning, man.
What's up, Croc? Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Okay, cool. I haven't called in a long time, man.
It's been a minute.
I feel like it's been forever.
You've been sleeping in.
You like my profile pic?
I know that's your head on your face on Trey Lance's body.
That's not Trey Lance. That was Deshaun Watson.
That's Deshaun Watson's body?
Yeah, I originally made that. I photoshopped Deshaun Watson. I'll send it to you. You'll be able to understand. But my number was number 5, so I switched the number.
Okay.
But okay, Croc. Those two, comments that was sent in to you, especially the one that said everybody's hyping up Trey Lance and hating on Jimmy Garoppolo. And we had a conversation on the hate of Jimmy Garoppolo, but I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the person saying everybody's hyping up Trey Lance. Yes, we are hyping up Trey Lance. Why do you think we're hyping up Trey Lance? He was the 3rd overall pick He's something new. And no, Jimmy G is not a poor man's Kirk Cousins. Jimmy G is not even in the same he's not in the same stratosphere as Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is a top 11, even top 10 quarterback in the league. Jimmy Garoppolo is 15 to 20, maybe even worse than that.
I
Why are you
think
looking
they're
like that?
closer. I think they're closer
No,
than that.
no, don't do that. Don't be disrespectful. With Kirk Cousins, we would have won 2 Super Bowls. Kirk Cousins had 35 touchdowns, 13 picks. And then this year he had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Jimmy's not doing that. Jimmy is not even coming close to that. Come on,
I don't
Croc.
think
I can't
Jimmy's
believe you.
stats will. Jimmy's stats don't sniff Cousins.
But Kirk Cousins can throw the ball on the outside. He can throw the ball in the middle. He can throw the ball over the top, and he's an accurate quarterback.
He's missing something though.
What
He's missing
close?
something.
How
bro.
are they close?
Kurt, he's missing something.
A team.
No,
he's missing a 49ers team.
No, Kirk Cousins. There's something with him. He does some things very well. I think overall, is he a little bit more talented than Jimmy Garoppolo? He's a little more talented, but he's missing something. And whatever that thing that he's missing, Jimmy Garoppolo has it.
What? Croc? Oh my God, Croc! If we had Kirk Cousins, do we win the Super Bowl? Yes or no in 2019?
I don't know.
Dang, this is sick.
Okay, because this is my thing. Sick. I watched the 49ers play against Kirk Cousins, and he wasn't good. Now, maybe you could say, well, the 49ers defense is dominant. I thought those teams were carbon copies of each other. And the biggest difference in that game, those teams weren't carbon copies of each other. They both won the league on the run game. 2019.
Bro, our defense was having a historic
year.
Their
defense was, but their defense was
no, their
good.
defense was not. Their defense was not that, my dude. Come on, Croc.
People were
they had
picking
7
them to
sacks
win.
on Kirk Cousins. They sacked the 49ers sacked Kirk Cousins 7 times.
I know, but what I'm saying is, and again, that comes back to like one, they both are a little bit more reliant on things being good around them, right? They both need they need the run game to be able to do some things very well.
We shut that down.
They need the defense, right? Yes, you'd say that the 49ers situation was more ideal, especially in that year, because I thought both quarterbacks kind of played the same, but the 49ers just said, fuck this. We ain't throwing the ball no more with Jimmy Garoppolo. All right.
Exactly.
So from that standpoint, but I do think, because I've watched a lot of Kirk Cousins. I just watched him this year. 49ers just played them this year.
This is what you're missing. We're talking about a 49ers roster, a 49ers team who is look, bro, they are better than the Vikings. They are much better, specifically having a defense like we had. Kirk Cousins team gave us more talented.
Like I think
bro.
Cousins is slightly more talented.
No,
but I don't think he's just flat out better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's crazy, Crack. I cannot believe you're saying this right now.
Like I think he's slightly more talented, but I don't think like if you say, "Hey, I want you to make this throw," he probably can do some things that Jimmy can't. But just in the sense of like watching Kirk Cousins, I've watched him a lot. There's something he's missing. I don't know what it is, but he's missing something.
He's missing the team.
2019, the team was good.
Croc, that team was okay. We literally dominated them. If it was not, I got you. If we had a different quarterback, we'd blow out the Vikings by like 30. We put up 200 yards on them, right? Is that Kirk Cousins' fault?
No, well, I think the biggest issue,
we sacked them 7 times. Is that Kirk Cousins' fault?
They couldn't run the ball. Now, let's flip-flop them. And again, I'd say the same thing. If Jimmy Garoppolo's in that situation where you just can't run the ball, the 49ers get blown out.
No, if Kirk Cousins was on the 49ers, they would probably put up 40 on the Vikings. I'll be honest with you, bro.
Someone said Minnesota had the purple people eaters. Well, yes, because what we're looking at is one. Okay, let's say this. I think they're like kind of similar. That's what I'm saying. I think they're similar. I got people getting on me in the chat. I think they're very similar. I just think.
Hey, shout out to the chat. Get on Croc because Croc is tripping today.
Why? How am I tripping?
Okay. Can I explain?
Done? Like, what has Cousins done?
He went on a road and beat the Saints in the playoffs, and he was the reason for it. Unlike Jimmy G, he's never had a playoff game where he was the reason for the win. That is a huge difference. That's a major, major difference. And again, he's had way better numbers than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a much better quarterback. He can make much better throws than Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm going to say this, though, Croc. The 2019 defense, and you love defense, our defense had, I think, 3 or 4 straight games.
It was great.
Somebody's QBR was in the single digits, and we held the team under 100 yards passing. Our defensive line and pass defense combined together was historic. Our pass defense put up historic numbers that haven't been done in 30, 40 years. The Vikings didn't have that.
But they were good though.
Croc, they weren't good like us though. It's a big difference.
I get that part. And again, I'd say if the roles were reversed and someone forced Jimmy Garoppolo to throw the ball, you'd see some of the same issues, right? What it looked like with Kirk Cousins.
If they force Kirk Cousins to throw the ball, Kirk Cousins can throw you to a victory.
He didn't in that game.
The Rams, if Kirk Cousins
did he in that game
versus the Rams this year,
did he in that game?
We'd be in the Super Bowl.
Did he in that game? They couldn't run the ball. They got shut down. Cook had like 12 yards.
He got sacked 7 times though, Croc.
Make a play. You know
he can't make a play. Our defense was so good.
Wasn't it Kirk Cousins that threw the ball right to Richard Sherman?
Richard Sherman. Quarterbacks make mistakes. Tom Brady throws interceptions. Aaron Rodgers throws interceptions.
I know Jimmy Garoppolo does too, but what I'm saying is,
yeah, but Jimmy Garoppolo is not the reason why his team will win a playoff game. Kirk Cousins did that in New Orleans.
The defense played very well that game.
Oh, they did, but Kirk Cousins made a lot of big throws, and he had the clutch touchdown.
He made the biggest throw. But look, what? Okay, so you're saying one game. Kirk Cousins has been an NFL starter for a long time. He's going to make over $200 million. All right, he's made a lot of money. He's been a starter for a lot of years.
Well deserved.
And he has, one playoff win? And I'm not saying...
Don't do that.
But no.
Do...
I mean by that, if he say he is, you got to have a little bit more than that. Like every situation can't be the most ideal thing for you to win. That's why you're moving off of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. Okay, Croc. I remember his. I mean, first off, he's barely been in the playoffs. But I remember when he was in Washington, he played against Green Bay.
Why he barely been in the playoffs?
Because he doesn't have a good team like Jimmy does.
Goddamn, Joe Burrow. Right?
He got squad.
We can make all the same excuses for Joe Burrow.
No, Joe Burrow got squad.
He got squad now because you see him throw guys in that balling. You see, so he got squad now. Then you can't even name one person on the Bengals defense.
Hilton, he had a really good year, and Jesse Bates and Hendrickson. Come on, stop playing with me.
Okay, Hendrickson's good. Bates is out. Okay,
Hendrickson is really good.
The Vikings don't got 3 really good football players on their defense.
No, their team is terrible. That's why the coach got fired. If they didn't have Kirk Cousins, they'd probably be a 4-win team back-to-back years, bro.
Bro, listen, we can't make excuses for him. You telling me who he is and what he is and what not or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you're saying that, well, he don't have this success because of his team. But I saw Joe Burrow with the sorry-ass Bengals who don't spend money in free agency. They don't retain their players. They don't do anything good. But somehow in the kid's second year, he was able to reach a Super Bowl. At some point, if you're going to be a good quarterback, you're just fucking good and you make it happen.
He had a very good defensive line on that Bengal squad. He had Jamar Chase, Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. I mean, he had a defense,
Cousins
like I said, who had Trey
Adam
Hendrickson.
Thielen and Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, damn near the best receiver in the NFL.
Okay, but they had Trey Hendrickson
and Dalvin
They
Cook.
had what's that other dude name that played at Ohio State? The other the white boy, Hubbard. They have Hubbard. They have Jesse Bates, one of the top safeties in the league. Hilton. Awuzie was really good. What DBs did the Vikings have?
Listen. Everybody seems cool when you're winning because your quarterback is balling and doing everything to win games. Everybody starts to seem good then.
So the players I name on the Bengals, the defense is not good, crap?
They are okay.
Oh, and now Logan Wilson, That's a baller right there in the linebacker spot.
Logan will.
I just named 6 guys on that defense.
They are cool. Like they are cool.
They're better than the Vikings.
That defense is not the reason they win.
But they're better than the Vikings.
Why do they win? Why do the Bengals win?
Because they got to go that quarterback. He a future GOAT, bro. He's a
Vikings,
top 5 quarterback,
why do the Vikings only have 1 playoff win since Kirk Cousins is there?
Because the team has been bad.
No, because Kirk Cousins ain't who you say he is. He's barely he's marginally better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
No, see, this is where you're not understanding. I'm saying if you put Kirk Cousins on a 49ers squad, the 49ers win the Super Bowl 2 times, bro.
I think that if you put them on the 49ers, they are slightly better. But I also think I've seen the Cousins do enough weird stuff down the stretch in games that lead to L's that I know. Like when he threw that interception to Azeez Al-Shaair, did he throw that pick to Azeez Al-Shaair because Azeez is so good, or did he just throw a fucked up pass in a clutch moment?
Croc, I get where you're going. What you see from Kirk Cousins, you see him in primetime games, and no, he's not really good in primetime games. But if you actually watch the Vikings more throughout the season,
I watched him damn near his whole career. You know,
wait,
you know how I watch football.
You what? Wait. Say that.
You know, nobody watches more football than me.
I guarantee you, I probably watch more Viking games than you.
Oh my goodness.
Name 4 players on that Vikings defense.
All right, you got Harrison Smith, Cam Dantzler, Anthony Barr.
Cam Dantzler stinks. Keep going.
Okay, but listen, that's beside the point. That's beside the point.
You can't
what I'm telling you.
Wait, Croc, I know other people probably want to call in, so I need to get off. But I'm going to leave you with this stat.
This ain't next caller because you're losing.
No, I'm not leaving because I'm not losing.
They're saying next caller because you don't got the answers, Sway.
I do got the answers. You put Kirk Cousins on the 49ers. I told you. The Niners had a way better football team than the Vikings. The Vikings roster is not really good. They tried to draft a bunch of defensive players last year and still didn't work. Defense was trash. That offense did its job. Kirk Cousins and that offense did its job, played really well the last 2 years. Kirk Cousins started off slow last year. I think he had 7 touchdowns, 6, 7 interceptions, and that man went on a tear. He was playing some of the best quarterback I've seen in a long time. Kirk Cousins was balling last year. Put his team in chances to win a game. Put his team chances to make the playoffs back-to-back years. But again, at the end of the day, his team just wasn't good enough. But you put Kirk Cousins on the 49ers, they are a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and we probably would have made the playoffs 3 years in a row because, he would have got hurt like Jimmy Garoppolo.
You started to say it, then you went in a different direction. But you were headed in the right direction. At the end of the day, you started with that. But you should have ended with, he's not that guy.
Hold on. No, this is what I want to say. The 49ers are 3-0. 3-0 when Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw a touchdown pass in the playoffs. And those 3-0 games, he's got 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And then we are 1-2 when he throws a touchdown. And he has 4 touchdowns and 6 interceptions those games. That's your quarterback that you said is slightly less better than Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I'll leave it off with that. Listen, have a good day, Croc.
There's a gap. I think there's a gap in like if you just say what it looks like, there is a bigger gap. But then that gap starts to close because Cousins is missing something. You're saying he's missing the defense. I think he's just missing something with him.
Wait, so what is that something that Jimmy has?
The same reason why there are a lot of 49er fans that cape for him. Why do they love Jimmy so much?
49er, look, I'm not even going to say what they are on this show, but come on, bro. Those 49er fans are unreasonable. like Black Man said, Jimmy G is a potato chip clip. You don't need it, but you use it. Kirk, you know what Kirk Cousins is? He's the dip. You put your chips in the dip, and it's good.
All right, man. All right, I'll get you off now.
All right, Croc. I'll leave you with that. Y'all, you have a good one, man.
All right, peace. Shout out to my guy, Chris Roscoe's. I got some super chats I got to get to. Shout out to all of y'all here. Let's answer all these. 49ers should re-sign Jimmy for 2 more years. Trey is too inexperienced to play. Re-sign Jimmy. I hear you, 49er fan, but I don't think the 49ers are on the same page as you. Jimmy will probably be gone he'll be gone in the next few months. Jimmy G's no trade clause expires at 1 p.m. today. Do you think that's what the 49ers are waiting for? Nah, I think they're just waiting for somebody that really wants him. Cousins doesn't miss Sanders in the Super Bowl. I agree. I do think Cousins would have hit that throw. And that might be the marginally better than Jimmy Garoppolo that he is. Joe Mixon at running back for Cincinnati. Chris left him off. He is a baller. Shout out to the California boy, Northern California, Bay Area. Man, Kirk falls under pressure, and history shows that a good QB makes this team better. Kirk doesn't make this team better. I think Kirk makes the 49ers more dynamic in the passing game, which overall makes the 49ers better. And maybe that's, you got Kyle Shanahan, and he could work his voodoo. But, yeah, I think that under pressure thing, that might be the thing I'm kind of grasping onto as far as the small difference between the two guys. Kirk is definitely more talented, but Jimmy is not that far behind him. Injuries has played a big part in Jimmy's play. Jimmy, remember week 1 against the Minnesota Vikings? 49ers played the Vikings. It was week 1. Jimmy Garoppolo's first start, 2018. That was after, obviously, the previous 5 wins. Jimmy was completely healthy. He did make one really nice throw in the touchdown to Pettis. He threw 3 interceptions, and he still looked kind of limited, and I don't think it was because of the injury. Well, he wasn't injured. He still threw 3 picks. Oh, no, K-Nice. Oh, no. Both Case Keenum and Kirk Cousins had a walk-off touchdown versus Saints in the playoffs. Right. It might be more of just the Saints struggle against the Vikings than it is the Saints and Drew Brees than it is the quarterbacks being good. I don't know. I'm just talking, y'all. Man, I appreciate everybody that's tuned in today, man. Y'all have been awesome. Thanks for hearing the back and forth between me and my guy, Chris. We don't do that all the time, but it's always fun to kind of have some fun debates with people, including y'all in the chat. Again, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you like the show. We come at you 4 days a week, Monday to Thursday right now, come season, 5 days a week, and sometimes on weekends, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. We are live. So hit the like button, subscribe, and notification bell, and all that good stuff. Locked on 49ers with myself and Brian Peacock. We come to you 5 days a week. Listen to the podcast. We're also on YouTube as well. That's Locked on 49ers with myself and Brian Peacock. Kirk is about the money. He'll win enough to keep a check coming. Washington players told reporters that he's aware of his stats and plays with that in mind. He's Calvin Ridley, the QB version. Whew. Yeah. I can see some, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like Kirk. I like Kirk. He's missing something. There's something he's missing. But he does make some throws that are like, Kirk, Jimmy, don't do that, right? And there are times I watch, I'm like, damn, we had Jimmy, we'd be, so many games better. But I don't know. With the 49ers being an over-the-top Super Bowl team, I don't know if, because when I see Kirk in those moments where it's like, bro, we need you to make a play, a couple times, but his batting average in those moments, maybe 300. That's good for baseball, not good in the NFL. Appreciate the contribution. All right, y'all, man. That's going to do it, man. Hit the like button, subscribe button, all that good stuff, man. I appreciate everybody that has tuned in, made this a fun show. It's all love. It's all 49er fans. Get behind the players, whether it's Jimmy, it's Trey Lance, man. You don't gotta be beef between those two guys. I said a lot of that in the chat, especially you, Jimmy. I guess it's both sides. Y'all some haters sometimes. Love y'all. I'm out. Peace.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Aaron Rodgers over midfield. He'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Cross Talk TV podcast. Peace.